All right, so we have confirmed now that there are going to be 5 heat races for the Datsun Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals competitors. White flag is coming out here. We'll do the best we can to keep you abreast of driver names here. So it's a 10-lap heat race.
I have no idea who the 33 is. He's on the freaking light 2. No idea. Guys, not soon.
Bill, do you know who the 33 is?
All right, here they come off turn number 4. Joe looks them over, green flag waves, and we're underway as they head off into turns 1 and 2. We're going to have a crash fest at the top of turns 1 and 2. Several cars stacked up and involved in this incident, as it looked like the top row just got checked up. And it looks like in the middle of that, I believe that is the Montgomery number 1J, as we're looking at the Bobco video monitor here up in the tower. The 76 and 18 machines
Perrego.
also involved. Yep, that's the 18 is Anthony Perrego, yes.
Perrego. Is that the number 1 up there? I don't think that's Dipple. Looks like everybody's going to drive away.
No, that's the Shea Montgomery that's driving.
Shea Montgomery.
The Jake Sprague 09. That's Connor Cleveland, who timed in 7th quick earlier this evening. The number 22. That would be the Tim Hartman 22 scheduled to be out there. The number 76. And we are ready for a restart. They come off turn number 4. Green flag waves. Sears mashes the gas as they head down into turns 1 and 2. A duel moves into second, and again, cars slide to the top of the banking up in turns 1 and 2. And again, the yellow flag will come out over the field. No start is the 54, one of the cars involved in the incident up there at the top of turns 1 and 2. That was the 54H. Of 5 heat races for tonight's Datsun Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals back underway. Again, the front row is the 33 of Sears and the Corey Wilder number 21K machine. The pace truck pulls off in turn number 3, makes its turn onto pit road. And we'll look for one more attempt at a start. Green flag waves. Sears will again lead the charge down into turns 1 and 2. Dipple able to go through, and again we've got cars every which way but straight at the back of the field, but this time they all sort out, but one car spins at the back of the field, and as they make their way around here off turn number 4, then you have the number 44. I believe that is the Pesolino number 44. In the field, so that's Brian Krummel. He timed in 8th quick this evening. Qualifications with a time of 13:3:02. So Krummel is in that number 44. Again, we believe that's Thorne in the 76, and that is Connor Cleveland in the 09. Connor actually top of turn number 3, and we will try one more time to get this heat race underway. Turn 1 has been Calamity Corner here at the start of this first of 5 heat races here. So we get ready to roll one more time as they come down off turn number 4. Green flag in the air. Let's see if the third time will be the charm as they all jam into turns 1 and 2, and Dipple and Sears make contact at the front of the field as they work off 2. Sears crosses over to the inside of Dipple as they race for the lead up into turn number 3. Sears cutting down on the bottom lane will have the lead at the end of lap number 1. Dipple is in second. Krummel is in third. Perrego and early fourth. Looks like the 21K of Corey Wilder back there in 5th as Mortensen is knocking at the door here trying to get to the outside of that red number 22 machine. He'll take the elevator upstairs as they work off turn number 4, but he's got side-by-side traffic in front of him. Meanwhile, a battle for second as Krummel comes up there. The Middletown campaigner working on Dipple for the number 2 spot as they carry around turn number 4. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, opening up a few car lengths advantage right now with 3 laps complete is Tim Sears Jr. in that number 33 machine, enjoying about a 6 to 7 car length gap as they work their way back through turns 3 and 4. Dipple is second, Krummel is third, Perrego is fourth. Again, the red number 22 sitting back there in the 5th spot. Mortensen has worked his way up into the 6th position now as we come to the cross flags here this time by. 5 down, 5 left to go here in the first of 5 heats for the Datsun Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals here tonight at Glen Ridge. Sears takes it back into turn number 3. The battle for second continues. Krummel has the inside lane. Dipple has the outside lane as they come charging off turn number 4 and work their way back down towards turns 1 and 2. Or excuse me, that's Duell in the orange number 14X running to the outside of Krummel's number 44. And so far, outside lane and momentum has prevailed on that top lane for Duell as he maintains that runner-up position as they carry through turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Coming up on the 2-to-go signal this time as your leader works his way down off turn number 4. Again, that is the Sears number 33 on the point, followed by Duell and Krummel still locked in combat for the second and third positions. Krummel trying to get it done on the bottom lane of the racetrack, just not able to find any open room and enough bite to get through as Duell's car a little bit quicker on that top lane. Your leader, Sears, has gotten the white flag. He's already in turn number 2 on the final tour around here in heat number 1. Krummel makes a bid for the number 2 spot down the backstretch. They'll come down to the checkered flag. Heat win goes to Sears, and Krummel shoots through in the final corner and comes away with the runner-up spot over Duell. Perrego finishes 4th, followed by the red number 22 machine, the 1M of Mortensen, then the 09 of Cleveland, and the rest of the field cycling through here at the end of heat number 1. So it's Timmy Sears Jr. who grabs the victory in our first heat race for tonight's Dodson Construction.
Jack Swinton's 07, starting in 6th. 7th is Floyd Billington's number 19. 8th is Cody Clark in the 4C. 9th is Rocky Warner in the 79. Starting 10th is 7 of Dave Constantino. And starting at the back of the field is the 11R of Rick Thompson. So the field's set to go. Tommy Johnson sitting up on the number 1 position. There goes the pace truck off of turn number 3, diving back to the pit area. So it's going to be Johnson on the inside and Proctor outside of him. Rocky Warner, local favorite, sitting way back. He's back in the 4th row, down on the inside. Green coming out, and Joe says go. Down into turn 1, Tommy Johnson grabbing the early, hang on, way up at the top, the 07, rim riding around the top of it, and they go diving in, and Constantino with that silver machine working the bottom, and they're bouncing the 15D around as they go down into turn number 3.
Yeah, that's the Havlicek.
So Greg Havlicek getting banged around a little bit, and out in front is Tommy Johnson. Johnson riding on the lead. The 32 of Durie has now moved up to be 2nd. Warner down on the inside. Rocky Warner coming fast. He is now into 3rd. So Warner on a charge. Freddie Proctor races 4th down off turn 4. Proctor, then the 18 S machine down into turn 1. We'll find out who that is. Constantino's worked his way through, and right behind him is Cody Clark. So Clark's 4C is there. Then we go back to the 15 of Havlicek, and Havlicek still trying to get it sorted away as he was working near the back of the field. Race up front. Here comes the flying squirrel. Rocky Warner starting to reel them in as they go up into turn 1. Squirrel right on the back bumper of Durie as they come up the backstretch. Rocky Warner, 79, steps outside, goes up to the top of the racetrack. It's not there, and Johnson is still strong. Tommy Johnson riding on the lead. Yellow, 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 yellow. Yellow lights are on, and that's the 18 as he comes off the backstretch. So the 18, and Constantino is going to get the international signal to go to the rear, which usually means, there it is, you just saw it. The flagger points to his left rear pocket and sends him to the back.
Like momentum will carry you if you're on the outside, and you can keep the momentum up and just kind of ride that fine edge of the cushion. We haven't seen anybody really working the bottom yet, but that may change as the night goes on and the track starts to dry out a bit.
4C of Cody Clark not having a bad run. Clark doing pretty well right now as he makes his way down between, right now sits 5th on the field. So everybody, all eyes in this whole place are watching the squirrel as he works in spot number 3. Rocky Warner out of Fonda, New York right now. He's located down in the west end of Fonda now. You see as you head down there almost any night, you'll see them guys down there working. Single file, Joe says go, green is out. Durie down on the bottom. Rocky Warner's on the outside, and Warner is going after him big time down into turn number 3. So Warner's high side of the racetrack, skimming around the top, Durie on the bottom, and they're both all over Johnson. Turn number 1 as they dive into the corner, and Durie trying to block Warner. That didn't work. Warner just went around him. So Durie is still there. Race leader Johnson, and here comes Rocky Warner, and the 2-lap sign is out. Down into turn 1, Johnson's got the front of it. Rocky Warner's right there in that number 2 spot, and Warner now closing in, trying to close the deal. White flag is out. Rocky Warner, Johnson in front. Warner's right there, down into turn 1. Durie now back to 3rd. Riding in 4th is the 54 of Fred Proctor. Then it's Cody Clark. Last turn, last lap, and he's not going to get him. Johnson led it green to checkers. Rocky Warner could do nothing with it. He'll have to settle for 2nd, and Durie will score 3rd. The 54 now into 4th. That's Freddie Proctor, and Cody Clark will round out the top 5. Constantino went to the rear, just could not get back up there again into a contending position after the mishap. And we're going to the 3rd heat out here in the 602 Nationals.
All right, and heat number 3 making its way out onto the racetrack. Now looks like Chuck Stewart's 11X is going from the pole. And 1 to go signal coming up for the field as the Sanford Motorcar Pace Truck will exit the racetrack in turn number 3. Heat 3 of 5 for tonight's Dodson Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals, about ready to fire off. All right, Pace Truck clears, ready to go racing. Steuer and Munson bringing the field down for the drop of the green as they come off turn number 4. Green flag waves, and Steuer will have the lead from the front row going into turns 1 and 2. Couple of cars, including Pitts and the 10% of Munson up there trying to scrape the concrete off turns 1 and 2. Everybody settles in now as they come around 3 and 4. Contact in the middle of the pack, and around goes the 10% machine of Munson, and that will bring out a caution flag. Looked like maybe there was contact with the Larry Niemiec number 614. And he may be getting the one-way ticket to the back of the bus as a result. We'll wait for the officials to. So he will take his car onto pit road.
614 to the rear.
White flag will wave, so we'll try to start one more time. Again, working our way through the heats for tonight's Dodson Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals. $50 going to each heat winner, courtesy of the flagtoflag.com racing classified website. Big thanks to Brian and the crew from flagtoflag.com for putting up those $50 cash awards for each of our heat race winners. Ready to get this one back underway. Green flag back in the air. Steuer again will charge down into turns 1 and 2. Jack Gentile trying to work the inside lane here from the 3rd spot as they carry through 2 and down the backstretch. Here comes Palmer in that number 17 working the inside lane as they charge down here through turns 3 and 4. Contact, hip check, and now they're 4 wide for a moment as they come charging off turn number 4 and back down into turns 1 and 2. Munson able to sneak in there. He will move up into the number 6 spot. Meanwhile, Pitts in the number 27 working the inside lane here in turns 3 and 4. He comes up the racetrack, and the 17 of Palmer has to take evasive action as Pitts now moves into the 4th position. At the front of the field, the race leader is Steuer with a black number 11 machine. In the 2nd spot is McCloskey with that 555. Back in the 3rd position is the number 20 of Jack Gentile as they round turns 1 and 2 and head down the backstretch. Battle on for 4th here between Pitts and the 10% of Munson. As the cross flags come up for your leaders, we are halfway home. Back down off turn number 4, Munson trying to work his way to the inside of Palmer. That's a race for the 6th position coming off turn number 2 and down the backstretch. They work their way back down here into turns 3 and 4. Working their way back down across the line. That is the 12K of Rick LaMont, who has worked his way up into the 5th position now, just ahead of the 17 of Palmer, followed by the 10% machine of Munson. Your race leader heads back up into turns 1 and 2. Again, that should be the Steuer number 11X, headed down the backstretch and into turn number 3. The McCloskey triple nickel back there in the runner-up position as we come to the 2 to go signal. Followed by Gentile in 3rd. Pitts in 4th, and again, LaMont holding down the 5th spot. Action continuing at the back of the field as everybody starts to string out a little bit off turn number 4. Looks like Steuer's car has maybe something going on with the right front. Here comes McCloskey trying to make a run at him here on the final lap. It's gotten within a car length as they work their way up into turns 3 and 4. Checkers will come out, and the drag race to the line. Steuer will hold on for the win. McCloskey finishes second. Third spot goes to Jack Gentile. Pitts finishes in 4th. Fifth spot will go to the 12K of LaMont, followed by the Palmer number 17, then the 10% of Munson, the number 23, and the 614 of Larry Niemiec rounds out the field. Here as we go white.
On the track, Leo 26S. Leo Susi riding up on the number 1 spot. Tony Stockman's 57 starts second. Greg Passolano starting in third. Johnny Marsh on the outside 4th. Yellow lights coming right back on again. 123 of Dale Welty starting in the number 5 position. DJ Brundage's 12B starting in 6th. Rick Davis's 43 starting 7th. Johnny Scarborough with a 61 starting 8th. John Miller's number 12 starting 9th. Lottie Hoyenga's 34 starting in the 10th spot. Floyd Billington's number 19 starting 11th as the field gets set to go back to the green. So we're going to fire off turn 4. Leo Susi sitting up on the front of it, getting ready to go back to the green. Outside of him, Anthony Stockman in the tug edge machine. Stockman goes down to turn 1. Way up high goes Johnny Marsh Jr. Marsh is on the bottom. Welty's 123 looking for room. And on the outside, it's Scarborough. We got a spin. Marsh up against the fence in turn number 3. So Johnny Marsh ran into the back of Johnny Scarborough's number 61, and he got the worst of it.
Oh, that's only the feature.
Getting ready to go back to the green. Joe says go off turn 4. Susi on the bottom, Stockman on the outside as they go to turn 1. Little bumping and banging going on. That is Welty, and down the inside comes Scarborough, and they've got Dodson car in between them. Greg Passolano slotted in between Scarborough and Welty. They'll go to turn number 1 together, and Passolano came out of there in 3rd. Johnny Scarborough now into 4th. Welty back to 5th. The 12B of Brundage riding next in the running order off the turn, and a dandy race right now going on, a ding-dong battle, and Stockman's getting away. Stockman moving away, and doesn't Susi look good? He and Passolano in a battle right now, and here comes Scarborough back again, down off turn 4. So Susi goes high in turn 1, Passolano dives underneath him, and Susi just blew the race, and here comes Scarborough. And Passolano did have second. Scarborough just went by him. So Johnny Scarborough drove inside of Greg Passolano to grab second. Susi back to 4th now. The 12B of Brundage racing in 5th. Trying to get on track is Floyd Billington. Welty and the 12B of Brundage banging bumpers as they go up into 3. Lottie Hoyenga has never really gotten into the fight, and Rick Davis is right back there with him. So Stockman, taking advantage of the Donnybrook going on behind him, right now has opened up and has a pretty good lead. Johnny Scarborough right there in 2nd, and Scarborough in that blue and white machine, 2-lap sign coming out, and Scarborough has now moved right to the bumper of Stockman as they go to turn 1. Stockman drifting up the hill a little bit, and inside comes Johnny the Jet. And down into turn 3, Stockman high, Scarborough on the inside. Little contact, not bad, white flag, they're still side by side. Stockman not giving it up, Scarborough's right there. Scarborough half a car length, Scarborough takes over. Johnny Scarborough, Johnny the Jet, off the turn, he's going to get the win. Stockman second, Pessolano will finish in third, Brundage fourth, Susi fifth, Welty sixth. Let's check that 12. I think that's John Miller was the 12 that finished up ahead of DJ Brundage. Now, Johnny Scarborough, long time known for racing in this particular area. Scarborough gave it up and went racing on the asphalt at the Devil's Bowl Speedway and other asphalt venues over there in New England way. And now back on the dirt again and looked pretty good out there and gets a heat win, Paul. That was a nice drive by John Scarborough.
Yeah, it certainly was. We're ready for the final of the qualifying heats for our Dodson Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals. Heat number 5, that'll be the Corey Wilder 21 in this heat going from the front row. Bob Bublak in the Dodson number 24. And on the outside, Harry Schaefer with the 1H machine. Then we have the number 4 inside that row, and outside that will be Tyler Dipple with the number 1. Then the M1 of, looks like Mark Mortensen in the field for this one, along with the Luke Klopp number 81. And then Ray Zimkin with the 1Z will complete the starting field. 10 laps the distance as we get ready to go green off turn 4. Green flag waves, and away they go into turns 1 and 2. And it looks like that number 4 car a little off the pace here as the whole back of the field shuffles around. Harry Schaefer rim riding it off turn number 2. Meanwhile, Corey Wilder gets the takeoff with Bublak in second. Pessolano now moves past Joslin into third. Here comes Mortensen down to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Where actually that's David Marcachelli. That's the Marcachelli machine. We've got trouble in turn 2. Couple of cars get together at the back of the field, and this will bring the caution flag out. So again, we saw Mark Mortensen actually in the earlier heat race. This is the other 1M or M1 in the field. That is the David Marcachelli machine. The blue and green and yellow machine sponsored by Page Transportation. As again, we've got 2 cars in trouble here on the backstretch. One of them is the Zemkin number 1Z that is nosed into the inside of turn number 2. And the other car involved Scores nightmare with a lot of 1s going on in this race. And you can we can see here from our vantage point. You may not be able to see it as well from yours. It looks like the front end is pushed in pretty good on the Zemkin number 1Z. In particular, that left front corner is shoved right up against the bodywork, Jim.
Yeah, it looks like it from the Bobco video, looking at least the left front, unless he's got the wheel turned a little bit. But it does look like there's a lot of mud in the front of it anyways in the suspension, and they're taking Ray back to the attention of his crew, I believe. That is sponsor number 21 of Corey Wilder. Is just kind of rolling around right now. And he is a past track champion here, I think. Corey Wilder in the past has won. And I know he's won a bunch of races here. And that Wilder Racing Clan, man, they are some good guys. And they're ready to go back to green again.
So picking it up with 1 lap complete here in this final qualifying heat for our Dodson Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals. Off turn number 4, green flag back in the air. Corey Wilder again hits the go stick going into turns 1 and 2. Bublak going out wide. Also going to the very top of the track is Marcachelli with the M1. He will move up to 4th now. Challenge Pessolano for 3rd on the outside. Pessolano's car squares a little bit coming off the corner. Marcachelli has to take evasive action. Clark there with the other number 4. We'll call him Cody Clark for now. Sits back in the 5th spot. Here comes Marcachelli. Got the inside lane on Pessolano going into turn number 3. And Marcachelli will take over the number 3 spot now as they shoot back down into turns 1 and 2 with 3 laps complete. Comfortable lead at the front of the field for Cody Wilder. The battle will be on now for the 2nd spot. The 5-cent machine of Bublak being pressured by Marcachelli. Then back and forth is Pessolano, followed by Clark. And here comes Tyler Dipple with that number 1 from the back of the field. He's already trying to crack the top 5. He has cracked the top 5 as we close in here on the halfway point. Clark way to the outside. inside with the number 4. Dipple taking the short distance around on the bottom as they go side by side. Meanwhile, the M1 of Market Chili was able to get by the 5 for the runner-up position. So Bublak drops to 3rd. Pesolano does a great job of cutting off Dipple, who was trying to sneak to his inside. They're stacking up behind the Bublak number 5, so that's going to be a 3-way dance for 3rd, 4th, and 5th as Cody Wilder continues to lead at the front of the field. Market Chili, though, starting to run him down from 2nd. Dipple putting 2 tires in the infield, almost grabbing one of the infield tires through turn number 4 as he tries to work his way up alongside Pesolano for that 4th spot. Drops down to the bottom here in turns 3 and 4. Nails the throttle coming off turn number 4. And Dipple will move up into that 4th position. Market Chili goes for the lead now on the backstretch. Trouble in turn 2. Dipple with a 360 Miracle Whip. Pesolano is around. And the yellow flag waves. We had stuff happening on both ends of the track at the same time. Looks like Dipple went into the spin cycle and may have tagged Pesolano. Dipple 360'd the car. Pesolano winds up parked inside out as a result. That was happening while Market Chili was making a run at Cody Wilder for the race lead. So a bunch of stuff happening at one time.
You know, we've been pretty lucky, actually. You know, the Mother Nature beat us up a little bit early on, but right now everything is pretty darn nice right now. All of a sudden we got a big pocket on that weather that was coming rapidly from the south to the northeast. And boy, let's keep rolling here, everybody. Got some great racing out here on the fastest quarter mile on dirt. There's no doubt about it.
Wilder diamonds it off the corner, and it looks like the start will be waved off. So a little bit of confusion on the lineup, please. Trying to get the Dipple and the Clark number. Lost turn number 4 when the green comes out, or at least that was his MO the last time. He goes for it as they head down into turns 1 and 2, and he takes the lane away from Market Chili. So that was all about getting the momentum and getting into the corner. Meanwhile, here comes Dipple up alongside in a battle for the 3rd spot, going down into turn number 3 as he battles the Bublak machine. White flag waves. Dipple's got the 3rd spot in hand. 3 wide a little bit further back. Harry Schaefer, Pesolano, Ostrander, Clark all getting into it with Klob watching back there from the deck chair with the 81. Checkers will wave here, and Cody Clark will withstand the challenge from Market Chili for the win. Dipple finishes in 3rd. Bublak will take 4th. Looks like Clark in 5th. And then it was pretty close at the line for the 6th position there between the Ostrander 62 and the Pesolano number 24. And with that, we conclude 5 pretty hectic heat races here.
I sense a bit of frenzy.
Yes.
In the atmosphere.
Yes, it is definitely a frenzied atmosphere. So for the drivers that are... All right, so white flag will wave here. And we will qualify 3 cars out of these consolation races.
All right, guys. Nose to tail. 2 by 2.
All right, the Sanford Motor Car Pace Truck will clear the track in turn number 3. So the first consolation race, top 3 finishers go on to the Dodson Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals. And there's the green flag, and it's Anthony Perrego taking the advantage here up into turns 1 and 2. A little slip slide skate through turn number 2 down the backstretch. The 12 car moving into the runner-up position, one of the 2 12 cars in the field. We've got 1 car, that was Jack in the 07, up by the walls there, stacked 3 wide a little bit further back in the field. And Miller off turn number 2 has the 2nd spot. And you've got the 23 jumping into the 3rd position here. That is the Marsh number 23 holding the 3rd spot, the Subway sponsored car. Connor Cleveland in 4th. Remember, 1 car in trouble here, and that is the 07. Made contact with somebody. The front suspension folded over on that machine, and that will bring the caution flag out over the field. As again, that was the Jack Swinton number 07 that had damage to the front end of his car. The consolation races here for tonight's Dodson Construction 602 Nationals. top 3 finishers move on to tonight's feature event, which, by the way, it's going to be run as 30, 50, and 45. Not 40, 40, and 45, but 30, 50, and 45 will be the lengths of the 3 segments. So the field comes off turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. Back underway here in this first consolation as they charge back down into turns 1 and 2.
23 up front is Mark Hughes.
Mark Hughes in the number 23 that is running in third. And then you've got Marsh Jr. back there, the other number 23. So Hughes coming down right in front of Courcy. 4 wide off turn number 4 as Clark goes around everybody on the outside, leapfrogs himself up into the number 4 position. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Perrego has the advantage here by a few car lengths over the number 12 back there in the runner-up position. And that is Miller in the number 12 in second. Again, Hughes in the 23 in the final transfer spot, being pressured by Clark from fourth. Now Hughes trying to crank it down to the inside here as he battles Miller for the number 2 spot as they charge back down through turns 1 and 2. Trying to sneak to the inside there, trying to steal that last transfer spot away was the Clark machine. Couldn't quite get there as they worked their way back down through turns 3 and 4. Your leader, Perrego, checking out on the field here as they come off turn number 2. He's got about a 2/3 of a straightaway advantage, and it is still a game of 52 pickup back there for the remainder of the positions. Connor Cleveland now trying to come to the inside of Clark coming off turn number 4. They're duking it out right now for that 4th and 5th spot. Out of qualifying positions, though, Hughes is the guy on the bubble right now as we come to the cross flags, or excuse me, the 2 to go signal. So 2 more times around here in this first consolation. Perrego can pretty much mail this one in if he can run this last lap and a quarter clean as he brings it off turn number 4. He gets the 1 to go signal. Miller still holding on to second, and Hughes has got a little bit of breathing space right now over that Clark number 4 sitting back in the 4th spot. They'll come off turn number 4. Checkers will wave here, and the win of the first consolation goes to the Perrego number 18. Second spot will go to Miller. Final qualifier will be the Hughes Subway-sponsored number 23 car. So those are the 3 drivers. Your winner, Perrego, second place Miller, and third place Hughes, that will advance into tonight's Dodson Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals as we get ready to roll our second consolation race.
So Welty dropping in behind Dachenhausen. White flag is out. Brian Pesolano, the 37 out there. Is Chad Edwards. So set to go back to the green out here in a pretty stacked Concy. Good start. Mark Mortensen on the move on the outside as he comes off turn 4. Mortensen challenging for that number 1 position as they dive down into 1. Jeremiah Munson holding down that number 3 position right now. Mortensen going high. Proctor's 54, Mortensen around the outside to take over. So Proctor now slotted in as second, Mortensen rim riding his way around, then the 10% riding right behind them, about 8 or 9 car lengths back is Jeremiah. So Jeremiah on cruise right now, then Bublak in the 5, Welty, who has started way back in the pack, Welty's number 123 now riding in the top 5. So the field working it out. Joey Oxford says we're halfway, and the race leader now starting to get away as the Mortensen starts to stretch it out. No response yet from Brian Pesolano. Pesolano following Chad Edwards as they come off turn 4, and they're right behind the 18S as they work the backstretch. The Connecticut-based race team, but it's all Mortensen right now. Easy kind of run for Mortensen, Proctor, and Jeremiah Munson. 2-lap sign coming out. Mark Mortensen running right around the top of the racetrack. He likes it up there. One off is Bublak in the 5-cent sign. He is the bubble car right now sitting on third. Off the turn is the 10%, and he is looking to go around Proctor with 1 to go. So big run off turn 2, and the 10 of Jeremiah Munson's going to take over second. Checkers are out. The win going to Mark Mortensen. Jeremiah Munson second in the Johnny Collard 10%. Proctor's going to survive for third. Welty and the 5C, 5-cent sign. Go fourth and fifth, or fifth and fourth. Welty right in front of Bublak's number 5. Been a while, Paul, since I've seen anything with a cent sign on it.
Yeah. Then you've got that red number 22 outside the front row. And that's Hartman with the red number 22. Second row inside, that is the 26. That is the Susie machine. And outside is Constantino in the 7. Then you have Ostrander out there with the 62. Also in the field, Montgomery with the 1J. Looks like the Klopp number 81, the Davis number 43, also in the mix for this one. As they work their way down off turns 3 and 4, that's Niemiec in the number 614. Also in the field is the green flag waves, and Hartman will grab the top spot off the outside lane in turn number 2. Palmer settles into second. One car sideways on the backstretch, and 2 cars hard into the backstretch wall. One throwing a shoe. That's the Davis number 43, and Montgomery part of the party there as well, as he gets tagged up in the whole mess, and we are under caution.
Yeah, we got a wheel down right on the inside entering turn 3. And if there's anything more dangerous on a racetrack than a wheel that's rolling loose, I don't know what it is. I've seen guys hit these before and just turn into rocket ships and just launch.
One back on Susie and Constantino in row 2. You have Ostrander and Niemiec in row 3. Then you have the second number 54 car back there in row number 4. As we come down off turn number 4, green flag back in the air. Final consolation back underway. Let's see if Hartman can get the jump on the outside like he did on the original takeoff. He does as they head down the backstretch. Oh, and there's hard contact on the backstretch. 2 cars hard into the wall. One of them is Niemiec, who goes for the slide for life into turn number 3. The other car involved is, I believe, the other number 1 machine in the field, and is sitting stopped on the racing surface. So again, we're going to have to stop the field here. I believe that's the Thompson 1R, if memory serves me correctly. And again, it is the number 614, that is Larry Niemiec, who is the other car that did the surf on the wall down the backstretch and then slid into what is the pit entrance at the top of the track in turn number 3. And I could see on the Bobco video monitor here, that looks like the right front shock has been completely torn off the upright and is just laying there on the clay. And there's also
right feet right now. That thing was really, they hit that wall hard going down that back. You can see the tire marks on that one section of the wall. So you can bet the next time we race here, the photographers are all going to camp right there by that that light pole right at the end of the fence, because they're looking for the hot spot. And you know, I was
well in a steel cage match here.
That's right, we are. Yeah.
So again, it's Palmer and Hartman now in row number 1, Susie and Constantino row 2, Ostrander and the second number 54 car there in row number 3, and then that is the Club 81. No laps yet complete. So we've still got the full distance to go as they come off 4. Green flag waves, and again, Hartman drag races Palmer down into turns 1 and 2. Outside lane momentum will carry the day for Hartman as he goes up into the top spot. Constantino now with the number 7 will shoot into third in the Silver Ghost machine, being challenged on the inside by Susie with the number 26. They go side by side for that final transfer spot up through turn number 2. And Constantino off the top lane will now move into that third position, and now he immediately goes to the bottom of the racetrack, was trying to cross over, maybe catch Palmer coming off the corner for the runner-up spot as they charge back off through turns 1 and 2. Palmer goes up the racetrack. Constantino goes to the bottom, and he will now move into the runner-up spot as they carry around turns 3 and 4. So that is going to put the 17 of Palmer on the hot seat right now with the final transfer spot hanging in the balance as Susie went for it, slid up the racetrack at turn number 2. The 54 now charging in here alongside and tries to make a move on the inside as they come off turns 3 and 4. Can't quite do it. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Hartman with a nice breakaway, and Constantino has a little breathing space for himself in the number 2 position as we come up to the cross flags. We are halfway through this final consolation race here for tonight's Donson Construction 602 Sportsman Nationals. Susie, who was showing a little bit of smoke out of that car earlier, chasing after Palmer, who has got the number 3 spot there in the 17, just coming off turn number 4, but the gap widening with each lap here. So Susie seeing his chances to make the starting field for tonight's Nationals slipping away. Meanwhile, Hartman bringing it down off turn number 4. The 7 of Constantino chipping away at his lead, but we are on lap number 7 to 10, and I would say Constantino maybe is going to run out of laps before he has a chance to challenge for the win here in this final consolation race. We'll see how things develop. 2 to go as they work back into turns 1 and 2. That battle continues for the 4th spot off turn number 4. Susie with the number 26 trying to hold on to that position as they carry up through turn number 2 and down the backstretch, able to hold the 54 at bay as Hartman will get the white flag here and head off into turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Constantino will wind up finishing, it looks like, about 3 or 4 car lengths back in the runner-up position, but he's in the show. That's the important thing. Hartman will get the checkers in the win. Constantino finishes in the 2nd spot. 3rd spot will go to Palmer. That's the final transfer position. Susie will come across the line for the 4th spot. You may be wondering, why are they fighting so hard when they're not in a qualifying position? 4th spot is one of the alternates if one of the qualified cars can't make the show.
I believe that was Hohensheldt who was riding in the number 5 position, that 54H machine. That's another one of the Dodson gang out there. There was also Schaefer